Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the Gnarly Gnome. My 4-year-old told me that if I make too much noise down here, he's not going to stay asleep. That's what he told me as I was walking downstairs. He said, "Good night, Daddy. If you're too loud, I'm not going to bed." So if I get too excited about anything we talk about, he's going to just raise all kinds of hell. That's where we're at tonight. My kids they're so amazing. I love them so much. It's all of our fault. I built them this way. Welcome, guys. It is a happy hour. It's not a show. If it was a show, there would be a very specific time we were supposed to start it, and it was supposed to end, and there were very specific things that we're supposed to do, segments that we're supposed to hit. That's not the way this works. It's a happy hour. It's an excuse for us to hang out together. Once the kids finally do settle down, it's an excuse to come downstairs and have a drink and just kind of kick the week off in the best way possible, and that's with a drink in hand. So with that being said, tell me what you're drinking. Some of you are already jumping on it, and I appreciate that. Let's see. Marco is having Sam Adams Oktoberfest. I can get behind that. Love me some Oktoberfest beer. We'll talk about that. Let's see. Josh is having Hop Harvest IPA from Westside. Also a good choice. Wet Hop beers are the only true seasonal beer that is left in the world of seasonal beers. Julia is having a Baltic Porter. I can also get behind that. That sounds good. A pumpkin. Okay, I'll allow it. However, you picked the worst week ever to drink a pumpkin. Last week, it was starting to feel like fall. That's the whole theme of the show, is that I thought it was fall, and now it's not. It's really hot outside, which makes me want to drink. We'll talk about what makes me want to drink, but we're not there yet. Let's see. Christine is drinking orange vanilla flavored water. Okay, that actually sounds kind of good. I'm okay with flavored water. I'm okay with whatever. Brittany is having a Pilsner from Esoteric. Definitely can get behind that. Esoteric is killing it with all of their lagers lately. I don't know that I've had their Pilsner. I've had the Helles. I don't know that. Maybe I have. I don't know. I have to look at notes to figure some of those things out. It's hard to keep track of everything because I drink entirely too much, which brings up what I'm going to drink tonight. Got an empty glass in front of me, and we need to fill it with something. This is a fun one. This beer is probably not going to be good. I was cleaning out some space down here in the studio fridge because Oktoberfest, I just realized my light was in the actual shot. I'm an amateur. So yeah, I was cleaning out space in the fridge. See, now I screwed everything up. Jeez. I can see it moving. Oh no, it's going to be one of those nights. Hopefully it stops right there. Right there, I think we're good. All right. I was cleaning out the fridge down here in the studio, making room for Oktoberfest beers because I think this fridge is going to house all of the beers that are part of the ultimate Cincinnati Oktoberfest beer, the cuvee that happens at the end of the season. So one of every Oktoberfest beer should, in theory, live down here in this fridge. That's the idea. So I had to clear it out. I had a whole bunch of stuff in here, and it's pretty deep. Like I think you can fit like probably 8 beers deep. So sometimes things get lost in there. This one definitely got lost. Throw guesses out while I reach over here and get it. If somebody gets it, I'll give you a gift. I'll give you something. There's no way anybody can guess this. I will say it is a lager. It's an old lager. Nope, Julia, you missed it. It is an old lager from a brewery that doesn't exist. I'm going to go count of 10. If somebody doesn't get it, I'm just going to reveal it. 10, 9, 8, 7. This reminds me of a story that we won't go into. All right, that's fine. Nope, you guys didn't get it. Nobody got it. This is from Rebel Metal. Metal Mayhem. This, I don't know how long it's been hanging out in my fridge. I'm trying not to shake it up too much because I don't know what we're in store for. Let's see what the date is on it. Oh, yeah, there is a canning date. I'm really trying not to shake it up. Canned on 10/20/2021. Yeah, so it's a few years old. This is gonna be good. There's a chance that it's not gonna be great. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We are active. All right, we're not going to pour the whole thing because I don't want whatever is sitting in the bottom of this to. All right, Metal Mayhem. Oh, smells good. All right, let's read what's going on here. This is an India style pale lager. It says Metal Mayhem, India style pale lager IPL. For anybody that doesn't know, pedal to the metal. Dare to be different. I can't read crap anymore because my light is turning. See this? This is what happens when your kids raise hell and you're stuck trying to figure crap out. All right. I have this problem so often that at some point I'm going to figure it out. One of these days. All right, there, that's better. Pedal to the metal. It says, dare to be different and thread the unknown. This IPL, not a typo, is full of mischief and mystery. Claim your new favorite and enjoy life's unexpectancies. Be bold and blaze forward responsibly. Well, that's no fun. 5%, 40 IBUs, 12 ounces. Fortune favors the daring. It's very sad reading all of this, knowing that they're just not around anymore. Shout out to Rebel Metal. Bad timing is the probably the biggest downfall of Rebel Metal. All right, it looks good. Yeah, good looking beer. Smells good. Yeah, actually smells good. Oh, it reminds me of something. Okay. Julia says, do all beers, I read it as brews, all beers get sediment as they age, settle, or just some styles? That is a great question. In theory, everything could settle at some point. There are like proteins that'll like coagulate over time. It just depends how long you're talking. There's not a clear-cut answer to that. They all can. Everything can, I guess. There's not like a style thing. This reminds me of, I mean, it definitely smells a little old, little oxidized, but not the damn light. This is just going to be the way it goes. It's just going to light up the background. Jesus. Hang on. Let's see if... We'll just throw this. Hang on. That is blue. We don't want blue, but we can go white on this one. And this won't move. And I promise, after the show tonight, we'll fix it. And we'll just throw that there. This is terrible. Why anybody would ever hire me to make a video for them, I don't know, because I've got one light pointing behind me. And then, oh man. How do we get here? All right, we're going to turn this. Turn that off. Just get it out of the way. Oh man. Guys, I'm sorry. This is embarrassing. All right, we got to get into this beer. Okay. We got things to talk about. All right. Here we go. Old beer. Prost. You know what? That's not bad. That's actually not bad at all. Yeah. Okay. That makes it even sadder that this brewery is closed, because that beer is held up even after, what did I say, a year? No, not a year. After 3 years in a can. Yep. It's freaking good. I mean, there's definitely some like oxidation, some old kind of stuff going on. It's not like an IPL anymore, but it's a solid lager. That's really fun. That makes me want to try all of the old Rebel Metal beers. If anybody has cans left over, send them my way. Hopefully they've been stored properly and they have aged as good as this has, because tucked away in the back of a refrigerator, this beer I mean, it's old. There's a little bit of like cardboardy kind of thing, but it's like a, okay, hang with me with this. My description is flowery cardboard, which when I say it out loud doesn't sound awesome, but like it, it's like a floral cardboard. Like it's actually not bad. This is way better than, I want to name some names, but we won't. It's better than some other like fresh lagers that I've had in recent years. Julia says flower-y or flowery, flowery, like walking in a field of flowers, not like in the mill making flour. No, flowery, floral. It's it smells like cardboard in the spring. That's a good descriptor. Cardboard in the spring. I actually kind of like it. There's like simultaneously like there's this fun like aroma wise, like something that reminds me of like kind of old beer. We get a lot of imported beer that is a little old. It reminds me of that. It reminds me of a lot of homebrew that was kind of past its time that we stashed away, and we're waiting for it to get better, and it never did. And then the hops kind of start to fade, and then this other thing comes out. Reminds me of that. But then when you get into it, the beer itself is still really, really, really solid. How does anybody know how long Rebel Metal was open? Was it like a year and a half, maybe? Is that right off the top of my head? Not very long. Not that anybody shouldn't make great beer from day one, but you expect like some kind of wiggle room for somebody to kind of ease into making great beer. I like that. Ease into making great beer. That is clearly not the case. Like the quality of what they were doing was fine. Fine to the fact that this beer is solid. Fresh spring cardboard. I'm gonna drink the whole thing. I'm fine with this. Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's good beer. Okay, we should move on though. We should talk about some actual things that are happening. I'm distracted now. I can't get over. That makes me want to go dig out other old beers that I have and see if they've held up the same way. There are some things that I've got. Actually, there's this one in my cellar that I've been sitting on. I was gonna. Well, hang on. I'll grab it and I'll show it to you because I had a plan for this beer. This one. So there used to be a podcast in town called Shift Beers, and I started planning this this episode that I was going to help Shift Beers with. I was going to make an episode and kind of force them to make this episode where I was going to send them a box of beer. And all of the beer was going to be mysteries. There were going to be cans that had the labels pulled off, or if you couldn't get the label off, I was going to paint them, and like you wouldn't be able to tell what the beers were no matter what I did. And I was going to send those to Shift Beers in an unmarked box with a cassette tape. Like an actual cassette tape, because it has to be a cassette tape because it's funny. And on that was going to be this mysterious voice that told Shift Beers. I could still do this with somebody. There's somebody else that does a podcast that we could do this. On that cassette tape was going to be this mysterious voice that asked them if they wanted to play a game. And that game was that they had to try these beers. And so Julia says I should do it with Truth or Pod as a consequence. So should I not reveal this beer that has been in? I'm pointing at my crotch. That's because that's where the beer is. It's just because it's off camera. Should I reveal this or no? Because this is a fun one. Could still do it the anniversary of September 11th. All right. None of them. We'll do this for. I'll tell you what. We'll still do this with Shift Beers. We'll send it to them, and if they can make it happen, awesome. If not, they have help. This is one of the beers that was in the mix. I've been sitting on this since. I don't think this one has a date. I'm actually afraid to move this one around too much. I'm afraid it's going to explode. Anyways, I was going to give them this mission of these beers, and they had to try to figure out what the beers were and then talk about the beers. I think it's funny, and they were all going to be local. Well, they were all going to be beers that people should be able to figure out if they live around here. This one has been hiding in my cellar for I don't know how long. I could look it up. This is Sprink Ale from Rivertown Brewing Company. This is an Imperial Wit, I think. Yep, Imperial White Flavored Ale. Even that style name cracks me up. Imperial White Flavored Ale. I don't know what that means. I think it's supposed to mean an Imperial wit beer with flavoring, but it's funny. It is it was 11.1% ABV. We almost put it into cans. The last time I had it was probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago at least. It was super sweet, and I anticipate it'll hold up somewhat. But I'm fascinated by beers like this because I know that over time this isn't gonna it's not gonna go bad, but it's not gonna taste anything like it was supposed to taste like. So yeah, this will be in the the mystery box. So don't tell Ship Beers because I want to send it to him. Let's see. Marco says he's been sitting on it like a beer can chicken. No, I'm afraid to sit on that beer. It's going to explode up my butt if I sit on it. Sitting on it like a mother hen. Julia says, oh my God, I had that one once. What did they come in a 4-pack or a 6-pack? I had to have at least had at least 3 of them because that's the only one that's left. It's been tucked away. There's some other things. A couple of them, or at least one of them, I brought the last time I did a bottle share with some friends up in Columbus. Shout out to them. I had an old can of Death, also from Rivertown, that I've been sitting on just waiting for that perfect moment. And it actually tasted great. So this might be good. I don't know. This was good. This would have been another one that I would have put in the pack. And it tastes great. So, you know, you can't always predict. Julia says I want to say 4. I bought it as a single. Yeah, I think it was a 4-pack if I remember right. It was just so sweet, like really, really sweet. Like, I'm kind of curious what it tastes like, but it's funnier to have somebody else taste it than it is for me to taste it. Maybe I make them do it with me. Maybe that's the right way to do it. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Anyways, we got to talk about things because there's lots of news this week. There's lots of fun stuff happening. Cincinnati is, as you guys all know, an exciting beer town. Sometimes it's not as exciting as others. Sometimes it gets very scary that places are closing or maybe selling or moving or whatever. There's lots of weird stuff happening. One thing that we can say is positive. We do have a place opening this week, just opened this weekend, in fact. 50 West has finally, I say finally, it did not take that long to get this place built. They've opened up their Deerfield location. Not on Route 50, which I guess opens up a whole other discussion. I don't know if let's start with that. let's start down that road. 50 West, when they opened, the name made perfect sense because they were on Route 50, of course, and it was this journey along Route 50, and all of the stories kind of go along with that, and I get that. From there, they started opening some other locations. One of them right across the street, which is obviously still on 50. One of them up in Chillicothe, which is still on 50. And then they opened this one. I don't even know the name of the street it's on. It's on like probably 50 West Boulevard in Deerfield Township. Is my guess. Look, I love 50 West. Like I think that they have figured something out that a lot of people maybe probably are trying to figure out. District Park Drive. That's a terrible street name. I think it's great, but it doesn't feel great in the same way that like other openings have felt over the years. I love the people at 50 West, you know, Bobby and Max and everybody. Like 50 West is great, but as a beer person, it's just starting to kind of feel a little hollow for me, which is hard to explain sometimes because I get from a business perspective, this is the right way to do it. You see the people that are coming in, you see why they're coming in, you see the things they're doing and the people that they're there with, and you cater to that. And in that regard, this is exactly what it should be. I still want places that don't always make sense. If that makes sense. I want places that maybe are not the perfect business decision. They exist because somebody feels good about something. I want places that exist because somebody has a passion about something. Places that exist because there are people that have a hobby or a passion. Passion is probably the best way to put it. I miss that. I want more of that. I want places. I want small places that exist in little tiny pockets of the city that cater to passion. And I think that we have started to lose some of that. And I don't know. There's room for all of it, I guess. And Julia says it's 14-ish miles from Route 50. Okay, how many places in the country are, I mean, I guess Route 50 kind of does go north a little bit. It's got to be on Route 50, right? Like that's the whole thing. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I have not been there since it's been open. That was one of the things that is on my list for this week that I don't know that I'll actually be able to knock out, to go up there and have a burger and a beer. I also don't know that anything will catch me off guard. It's exactly what you think it's going to be. Lee said, I opted for BC's Brewing over 50 West this last weekend. Still managed to go. But I still mean to go soon. Yeah, I mean, I get that. Two very different spaces. I mean, you've got within like this little kind of bubble there, you've got 50 West, you have Sonder, you have Common Beer Company, you have BC's. Not that you've got Grainworks right around the corner. You have Dogberry that's going through their stuff, which we should probably talk about too. There's a lot of choices just in a little tiny bubble right there. And that's just like breweries. There's plenty of other like decent bars and bottle shops and things that are happening. It's tough to try to figure out what you want out of your space. And nothing I can say is going to change what 50 West does, because they've got their community. Like it's perfect for who they are right now. But it was not. Here's the statement probably from me. Somebody write this down. Here's the quote. 50 West is perfect, but it's not what I wanted 50 West to be. I think that's the best way I can kind of put it into words. It's perfect though. Like every time a new place opens, it gets better than the one before it. They hone it in. They figure out exactly what the space needs to be. They figure out like operational things that need to change. They figure out layout things that need to change. It just gets better and better and better. Like over the next, I'm assuming, there's not some big change in the industry that forces their clientele to change. If things keep going the way they are, and 50 West decides to keep opening places over the next couple, decades, over the next 20 years, like what the 50 West Burger Bar looks like then is just going to be, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be perfect. And they just get better and better every time they open a place. That's my statement. Somebody write all that down. Julia says, I understand them opening where they opened, but since so much of their story was about being on Route 50, and that just takes a little bit away from. Yes, and stories change, and I get that, and stories are all about evolution, and that all makes perfect sense to me, but it just, and maybe it's because like kind of we're people that were kind of along for that story the whole time. we kind of feel left behind, I guess, a little bit. That we wanted this part of the story that existed before, and then the story changes. That's hard. That's hard for any craft brewery. You get like fans that latch on early. It's hard for breweries and bands and brands that exist around that have some kind of story that people latch on to, and then when they get too big or change or evolve and leave people behind, like you feel left behind. and maybe that's it. I feel left behind. This is not the 50 West that I fell in love with. This was not the spot that we were sitting at the bar, at Penny Flip. What was it, Tuesdays? Penny Flip Tuesdays? Was it Tuesdays or Thursdays? Wednesdays? Tuesdays, Thursdays? I don't know. This is not the same place. It's very different. And so, we feel kind of personally left behind with that. But it's good. It's good for them, and it's good for us as a bigger picture thing. Now I feel sad. It shouldn't be sad. This is a good thing. It is an incredible space, an incredible opening. It shouldn't be sad. Moving on, something that also, man, this is going to get real depressing real fast. Something else that probably shouldn't be sad, but kind of feels sad. Birkus. Oh, man. So they sent out an email blast and posted a bunch of stuff on social media. After they posted on the marquee at the Ludlow Theater, their home in Ludlow, that was for sale by owner. They posted it and then explained it to people. Number one, that's a mistake. You should never post something is for sale before you tell your customers that have been going there, that have been buying into some kind of thing. That's backwards, and your people are always first versus your business or your road that you're headed down. The people that have been coming there should be number one, and maybe most of them knew this was coming, but I did not get that impression. I think that it caught a lot of people off guard, and there's still a lot of confusion about it. And I think that's what I want to clear up, hopefully a little bit, is the confusion. The Ludlow Theater is for sale. Birkus is not for sale. Birkus is moving. From everything we know, Birkus is moving down the street to the space that they have been trying to renovate. It's called Big Blue. They have been they bought this building down the street in Ludlow, a big giant space that they've been working to get tax credits and historic designation and all this stuff to figure this thing out. And this is the next step in that, is the way they're wording it. Julia says, was equity ownership part of the crowdfunding? Curious if so, those people were made aware before the marquee was put up. Yes, all of those people that contributed to crowdfunding are technically owners. I don't know that they were made aware. I assume so. I hope so. I think that there's probably some kind of process there, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where or when all of these decisions kind of fell into place. I don't know that in the perfect world that it would have worked out the way it is. I think that in the perfect world, Ludlow Theater would have still stayed open, or not that it's not staying open, Ludlow Theater would have still been a taproom performance space, and then Big Blue would have been more events and production space. Maybe I'm like just coming up with an idea that's not real, but that's where my brain goes. That's the smart way to do it. That's the smart. That's a bad way to put it. That's the perfect way to do it. I get that sometimes business says that the best way to do it, the perfect way to do it, is not the way that you can do it. And I think that's what we're seeing is that things don't connect. Things don't add up. It all can't work in the way that you want it to. And so to continue forward, this is what they have to do. This is all just my opinions and assumptions. I did reach out to ownership of Birkus and heard back a little bit, but not really yet. I would love to sit down with Paul and do a brewcast and really kind of dive into how all of this developed and why it's looking the way it is and what the road forward is for the company and for him and for Birkus and for all of that. So stay tuned. I'm still working on it, but I don't love the way it's looking. But I don't think it's as bad as some people want to make it sound like it is. That's the best way I can describe it. So another, not really a negative story, but it kind of doesn't make me feel great talking about it. I don't want to see Birkus close. I think that they are one of the most unique breweries in town. The whole idea, I think, is I'll call it brilliant. I think it's brilliant. So, don't want to see them close. I don't want to see them go through a period of time where they're not making their own beer, where people can't sit down and have the beer in a tap room. I don't want to see that. That's not kind of, in my opinion, who they are. Moving on, I have to look and remember what the next article is. If I can find the mouse, it's over there. Oh, of course. Why somebody hasn't mentioned this yet, I don't know. Kitchen violations. So I got a call, late last week, maybe, from somebody from WCPO, wanting to know if I wanted to do an interview for an article they're working on, which normally, anytime the news calls me and they want to interview me for something, I'm probably saying yes. I love getting my name out there. I love sharing the gospel of Cincinnati beer, all of the things that I love. I love that. Like I'm all about it. Anybody that wants to talk about it, I want to talk about. But very quickly in the conversation, this person, which he's Dan Monk is the one that wrote the article. I guess we could say that. He said that he's working on this article about kitchen violations. And he said, how much do you know about brewery kitchens? I'm paraphrasing here. And I said, well, I mean, I drink a lot. I spend a lot of time in breweries. And a lot of those times, I'm also eating. So, I mean, I've been to a lot of breweries, and I've ate a lot of their food. But that's about as much as I know. And he said, well, I'm working on this post. Out of all of the places in the city, I'm paraphrasing. Out of all the places in the city, there seems to be a lot of violations at breweries. And then he named a couple of the local breweries that he thought had a high number of violations in their kitchens. He said, what do you know about that? I said, well, it's kind of out of my realm of expertise. I don't pay attention to people's kitchen violations all that much. I didn't go into detail with them, but I spent a lot of time in dive bars and some shady little neighborhood places, and I eat I eat things that most people probably wouldn't eat off of some very questionable flat tops. I'm telling you, and I'm fine with it. Like I think that depending on what the food is, there are things that I will eat and things that I won't. And there are places that I think if you look at their scores from their latest inspections, there are places that have a lot of violations. Sometimes it happens, and there are some of those places that try to improve and try to fix it, and there are some places that just kind of always are that way. And I'm okay with both of those. And as weird as that sounds, I don't think that any of the breweries that I've read about, and I've looked up their health code violations that they've had, I don't think any of them concern me that much. I think that there are definitely some things that need fixed, and I can see when you look at the actual reports that there are some places that are trying to fix them. And none of that was reported on in this article. So yeah, I don't know where I'm supposed to go with this. So I turned down the interview because it's not something that this is funny. I turned down the interview because it's not something I should talk about because I don't really have expertise in that realm. But we're going to talk about it right now. I think when I read into this, and maybe I should have done the interview just to talk about this, but I didn't have enough time to actually read into things. What I have seen reading into the health inspections is that the breweries that were talked about in the article, number one, the numbers that he's throwing out as far as health code violations are stupid. Anybody can see when they look at it that if there's one violation, that then they come back and then there's that same violation. Maybe it's better, maybe it's not, but usually they're trying to fix it, and you see that it's improving. You don't count that as two separate numbers. That's one violation that they're trying to fix. It's one thing, just over two different stops. So it's very strange, kind of the way he calculated all of his numbers of who has like these high numbers of violations. It's strange. He didn't talk about any restaurants outside of breweries, which I get does not get the same number of clicks as breweries. People love talking about breweries. There are a lot of restaurants that have way more health violations than any of the breweries that he mentioned in the article. And he didn't seem to have any problems with that. I'm a little confused at what the point is, because this is also the same reporter that wrote an article maybe a year or so ago that was questioning if Cincinnati has too many breweries. I don't know what the long-term goal is here. I don't know if there's some kind of thing in his head that he thinks that he's doing, but yeah, I don't agree with any of it. Long story short, I think it's a lazy article. And not that I haven't written my fair share of lazy articles over the last decade, but call them out when you see them, and please call me out if you see me write a lazy article, because they do exist. This is silly, and it's trying to capitalize on something that you don't need to capitalize on. It's lazy. Lee says, I hate to admit this, but I like food trucks, and I'd be concerned to know what kind of violations those establishments could be having. Don't concern yourself. If the food tastes good and you don't get sick, don't concern yourself. Just don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Some of the best food that I've had in my life has been from places that probably have a couple health violations. And I'm not saying that like the whole idea of like trying to keep places clean and sanitary is bad. Nobody wants food poisoning. Nobody, like, that's bad. Nobody wants to get sick. But I don't think that you should put as much stock into a journalist telling you this place has X number of health code violations. If you want to like spend enough time, everybody's got health code violations. Everybody should. That's the whole point. You want to make everything better. You should be able to point something out and say that you could do this better. This should be cleaner. This should be better than what it is. That's the whole point. And if you look at a place and you can't find anything, you're not looking good enough. Every kitchen has something, and that's okay. But some of the best meals of my life have been from less than stellar, kitchens. We're heading into a weekend with Labor Day weekend where my family goes camping, and not that I'm making my family dirty food, but we cook over a fire. We cook outside. We cook like sometimes like it's not super clean. Like I sometimes something falls into the coals and you just pull it out and blow it off and toss it back on the rack. It's fine. It's all fine. But I'm pretty sure that's probably a health code violation. I guarantee that things are not being held at the right temperatures for the right amount of time sometimes. It's fine. Nobody's getting sick. It's fine. There are levels to all of this. Julia says it keeps your immune system on its toes. It's fine. To some degree. Like I've definitely had food poisoning. It's not fun, and nobody wants that. So like there are definitely levels to acceptance. It goes without saying. Everybody knows. Just keep your customers safe. Keep your customers, at the forefront of everything you do. Don't do anything that's gonna make somebody sick or kill anybody. If John Taffer would get pissed off, don't do it. That's the I guess the lesson to be learned. That's all I got for you. I mean, I've got plenty of other things we could talk about, but we got a late start, and it's already after 11 o'clock. And I respect the fact that everybody has to go to work tomorrow, including me. Gotta work. So we'll wrap this up. Stay tuned for whatever this ends up being a part of, and whatever else is back there in the cellar that it becomes a part of it too. Or maybe new things. Maybe there'll be something incredible that is fresh and exactly what it's supposed to be. Don't know yet. We're gonna play it by ear. Yeah, there. Lee says, not looking forward to tummy bug as a parent. Yeah, sometimes it's not fun. But that's what keeps life exciting, right? Like if everything was just normal and boring, nothing would feel good anymore. You have to have the bad days to make the good ones feel good. What feels good to me is sitting down with you guys and having a drink and doing this show. This show everything right now is brought to you by people like you guys. If you like this and you like any of the stuff that I do, you can support it by going to thegnarlygnome.com/support. I'm working on stuff all the time, trying to make that make more sense for you guys, and trying to give you value for what you do to support this, because I really do appreciate it. On top of that, I have my own company. If anybody doesn't know that, the show is also brought to you by that. Gnome Creative is this thing that I do where I help. The best way to put it is that I help other companies, specifically bars, restaurants, breweries, distilleries, anybody that serves drinks or food. Food and drinks are kind of my thing, if you haven't figured that out. I help them create content to connect with their customers in the same way that hopefully I'm connecting with you guys. So if you know somebody that needs help in that regard, tell them to reach out to me, because that's also how all of this keeps moving and keeps growing and keeps evolving. Cincy Beer Week, we need to talk about that. Cincy Beer Week is coming up. It is the first full week of October. It is October 4th through the 13th, I believe. 4th through the 11th. What is the dates? Guess I should have looked that up before I started talking about it. It is October 4th, 4th through the 13th. Yeah, I had it. There are so many events that we're working on. I say we, that places are working on, that have not made it to the calendar yet, because they are still kind of in flux and they're still trying to figure them out. But there's some really, really cool stuff that I cannot wait to share with you guys. If you have not already, go to cincybeerweek.com and subscribe to the newsletter and all of that stuff, and everything will come to you then. Maybe not quickly, but it'll come to you before you need to know it. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a really crazy week. There's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff. I'm gonna be running around like a madman, trying to get to as many things as I possibly can that week, because good stuff. So thank you guys. We'll be back next week to do this again. Same place, same time. You know the drill. Just be here at 9:30-ish every Monday. And as you saw this week, sometimes the ish is very relevant. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you know that. I appreciate everything you do to keep this thing going, and I look forward to where it goes from here. Cheers, everybody. Have a good week. Hopefully work is not too rough for you, because I get that sometimes it's a little rough. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you later. Can't tell you how excited I am to finish this show and drink this old beer. It's so freaking good. Old beer for the win.